Is COVID boring you? Are you fed up of talking to your wife and kids? Come over to Discord and talk to gamers and have some fun. Links are in the show notes. What do we need now? Where's that music? Drop it.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode 99 of Cross Atlantic Gaming. I'm your host Risky the Kid, and joining me this week, as always, are my co-hosts Chocolate Bear.
Yes, hello.
And Moose.
Hey players.
Happy Easter, everybody. Look, I had one. There was a holiday that actually happened this past week.
I know, and the bunny came and littered all over my house. And
What do you use real eggs or plastic eggs filled with stuff?
Come on, dude. Who uses real eggs? That's a rookie parent right there.
I mean, that's how I was raised. I wouldn't have it any other way.
How many eggs did you find in May?
I don't know. I've assumed none. I always thought that you'd write it down. Doesn't that make sense? Like, this is the 12 spots we put eggs.
Dude, my kids have been finding jelly bean filled eggs in the basement all day today, so they did a terrible job yesterday.
All right, yeah, so I guess it's good that you're not using real eggs. Chocolate, I'm assuming you also use plastic eggs then?
Yeah, we did a little trail for them to go find.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yes.
I guess. Now I'm thinking that I'm just not real smart, because I would totally just hide like 2 dozen hard-boiled eggs around my house and then a month later be like, what is that smell?
Who keeps farting around here?
Yeah, right? I think we have a sulfur issue in our water now.
I was going to say, you do hard-boiled eggs. We don't, or I don't do that.
That's what we use to dye our eggs. You guys don't dye eggs in the UK?
No.
Yeah, you go buy the nice bleached white eggs, and you buy the dye kits, and you dye your hands for the next 2 weeks.
It's true. My parents stopped over. We were practicing social distancing, just so everyone knows.
So everybody got in their hazmat suits to the
100%.
backyard.
But yeah, they dropped off a little basket and had hard-boiled eggs that they had painted and like wrote "Happy Easter, Zach," and so that was nice.
Your parents don't call you Risky?
I was, as soon as I said Zach, I was like, now they're gonna know my real name.
They know who I am.
Well, if you haven't figured it out in 99 episodes, I don't know where you've been.
Right.
But yeah, so everybody had a good Easter then, as good as it could be in the COVID times.
Yeah, it was blowing snow and windy, so I've been inside for 2 days.
Oh.
We got snow on Friday, like
Did you?
a couple days ago, and then my car said it was 75 today, and I was like, well, what is happening?
Yeah, it was 70 on Saturday.
Yeah, what? Like a 40 to 50 degree swing of the temperature?
Typical. It's typical spring where I'm at.
Nah, fair enough.
We had a heat wave over here, so it was quite nice.
Yeah, there you go. All right, good. Everybody had happy Easters. I hope all of you out there listening had a good Easter. Before we get into the show, obviously, this is episode 99, which means next week is going to be the big 100, and that's when we kick Chocolate off the show.
Hey, what?
I was going to say, is that going to be our murder mystery episode?
Murder mystery.
Somebody's going to die, and
who did it?
Are we going to find out who did it? Does it matter?
As fun as that sound. What a way, like, if you knew you were actually going to leave a podcast, what a fun way to do it.
Yeah, right.
It's not happening. Just
no. Yeah.
Sure, or is
Chocolate, you're not allowed to leave, buddy.
We'll see.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
But anyways, so next week we are going to do, we're not going to spoil anything here. We will have a couple different things going on next week for the big 100. Try to make it a little different than most of our episodes so far. But one thing we did want to do is we wanted to give a code for a game. That game is Cyberpunk 2077. It's a pre-order code. You can get it on PlayStation, Xbox, PC, whatever you want. We want to give that code away to you guys. So there's not a ton of rules or restrictions, really.
So me and Moose can join.
What'd you say?
Me and Moose can join in for the code give.
No,
that's one of the rules. Sorry, Bear.
God damn it. Yes, 100% one of the rules. We cannot win this code as much as we may want to. But it's super simple. if you are a patron, if you are subbed on Twitch, you're automatically entered in, so you guys don't need to do anything. We'll check our Twitch subs the day of the podcast next week. If you're there, boom, you got an entry. It's just one entry across the board for everybody. If you're a patron, obviously you are entered. We're also you can get into it by being in our Discord. Under our announcements page, we will put up a post and have an emoji that you have to click. If you click that emoji, you are entered. And then lastly, if you're just a listener and that's really all you do, I mean, first of all, we appreciate you. There's no need to do any of that side stuff. Just listening is plenty for us. But if you guys want in on it, you need to give us the code Metroidvania. That's all you need to do. Get us this code via whatever is easiest for you. Twitter, Instagram, email, cagpodcast@gmail.com. I'd give you Moose's cell phone number, but he might not be okay with it.
No, that's fine. Nobody ever calls me, so that would be great to chat with somebody.
So yeah, plenty of ways to get yourself entered. We're just trying to open it up to as many people as possible that are supporting us, either just listening on Twitch or Patreon, or just being active in Discord, anything like that. And we'll be drawing that name out of a hat next week. So you guys have a week. It's short notice, but we figure our most dedicated folks are going to be listening in this first week, or in the next week, to this episode. So yeah, get yourself entered. It's super easy. And we'll, like I said, we'll be pulling that next episode. So good luck to everybody that joins.
Could be as simple as just entering the password that we said earlier, Metroidvania, in the comments on one of the Instagram posts or Facebook posts. Like Risky said, tweet at us and just the word, and you're good.
Slide
to go.
into our DMs, man. Well, however you guys got to do it, it's easiest.
That's right.
It's easiest for us.
And all those links will be in the show notes.
100%. Okay, well, hey, speaking of Patreon, this is a Patreon episode, so we are doing the $25 gift card giveaway to wherever this person wants. We also, so this is Patreon, and then you also got entries now if you are a sub on Twitch. So those people are also in here.
Right.
And you double up your chances, or triple your chances, if you're subbing on Twitch and Patreon. Easy peasy.
That's what, I'm looking at all of our Patreon subs, because there's a few people that get, I think, 3 chances at winning because of the amount they give in our Patreon. But all you got to do is sub for free on Twitch, and you have the same amount as those big spenders. So
if you have Amazon
it's a
Prime.
it's a real equalizer.
Yep. All right. So we got all the names in the hopper. Let me hit it quick. The winner for the Patreon giveaway this month is Art Cutter.
All right. Way to go,
I feel
Art.
like I've heard this name before. I think it was because I finally got to play video games with him the other day. Video games.
He's addicted.
He
keeps me up real late playing Warzone now.
He's quite the Warzone man. I like it.
Yeah.
I like his call-outs. I like everything he does, including supporting us. So shout out to you, Art. And shout out to all of our patrons, obviously, every month. You guys are awesome. Congrats. You now have a whole entire month to get in on the Patreon drawing. Or at this point, I guess it's Patreon/Twitch. So a couple easy ways to do it. Get in on it there. All right. I think that's all the housekeeping we need to do before we get into it. Another week in gaming. What have we all been playing? Do we start with the one new game that we all can talk about, or do you guys want to get some of the same old stuff out of the way first?
I say
I'm good either way, buddy.
Go to the new game. People want to hear some fresh stuff.
All right. So clearly, Chocolate just does not want to talk about what he's been playing this week.
No one needs to hear that.
All right. So let's talk about some Final Fantasy VII remake.
Yeah,
Not
buddy.
remastered. This is clearly a remake. Moose, this is your first foray into Final Fantasy VII, correct?
Yeah, and mainly it's like my intro to Final Fantasy period, because I've played like under 10 hours of Final Fantasy 15. So
And that
I still don't even know what the hell's going on in that game.
I would say an even 15 is just such a far step away from what, like, when people
Right.
say Final Fantasy, what they're actually talking about with the whole turn-based system.
Yeah,
But
it's awesome.
It would be tough for me, I think, and probably for you too, to be playing a game like Final Fantasy VII Remake, and then go back and try to play some of the
The
older
other ones.
games.
Yeah.
It's kind of just made me sad because I've always wanted to go back and try to play some of the ones that I haven't played, even though they're all stupid long,
But they're all turn-based, right?
and they're all turn-based.
See, I'm out
So-
right there, basically.
There you go. So this is a perfect hopping on point for you then. I didn't put a ton of time into 15. What was the combat like in 15? Was that pretty hack and slashy?
Similar.
Or
Yeah. It's very similar to what the remake is.
okay, so in the remake, what's cool? I just call it a hybrid. It's like hybrid combat where you can just be hacking and slashing. You have like your powerful stances that'll make you hit a lot harder and more frequently. But then at any time you can hit X, and what that's going to do is it's going to pause combat. Well, it slows it down to like pretty much not moving at
Right.
all. And that's when you have a chance to go into your abilities and use any of those or spells or use items, which is something obviously when you're playing a turn-based game, you always have that option and not a lot of pressure. So it's kind of just like, okay, I can click, hit a potion and then keep going.
But have you figured out like when you can use your items and spells and when you can't? Because I know like when your SP is gone, you can't use any spells. But like sometimes you're locked out of your items and your abilities as well.
Yeah, so that's all tied into your ATB meter.
Okay.
The ATB, those are going to be the two big blue bars that are under
Right.
your health.
Yep.
Once you get one chunk of those filled up, so there's two little sections of it. If you fill up one of them, you can go into your items, you can go into your spells, or you can use an ability. So it's kind of
Okay.
those two little sections encompass all the things you could be doing during combat.
Gotcha. So I didn't know that the items and the abilities also used. Is it SP what you use for magic? And you have to
maybe.
build it back up by attacking.
That's the ATB. That's the
Okay.
thing. But you also have a stat that is your like magic power.
Right.
You'll have like 34 of them, and every time you cast like fire or
Yeah,
cure or
one's
something,
worth 4, and
it's
then
worth
you can
4.
level it up to 9 if you get like
Yeah.
the second tier of it.
Yep, and then you're obviously because it's an RPG, you're going to be leveling up your capacity for those things too. So eventually, you might have like 50 SP at your disposal.
Okay.
But yeah, so everything's kind of tied to that meter, and you can make that meter go up by just landing consecutive hits on a bad guy, and that's kind of like the hack and slashy part of it.
I think dodges and parries also gain you.
Yeah, so a good dodge, or I think it might be a perfect parry,
Right.
that'll also grant you some of that energy, that ATB. But what's cool is that you can opt to do it that way, where you hit X and it pauses, or pretty much pauses combat. And then you can actually tab over to other characters if they have like an ability they can use, or if they have a spell you want to use at the moment. You can do that pretty quickly. But if you don't want to slow down time at all, they have a quick menu that you can set up for yourself. It's L1, and then it's going to be X, circle, square, or triangle, depending on how you have it set up. So when I'm using Cloud, who's the main character,
Right.
I have like L1 and triangle is set up to be his it's like a triple attack kind of thing that can break people. And then L1 plus X is going to be my cure spell. So you can kind of do it once you get into a groove. Like I'm not really stopping combat at all at this point because I have everything tied to my like quick commands with L1. So it makes combat a lot more smooth, a lot more hack and slash. But you have to be smart about it because you can't just, unless you're playing on easy mode, you're not just spamming
Yeah.
the square button over and over.
That dog, the hell dog or whatever it was.
The hell dogs are rough.
Holy cow, man.
Rough.
That one big one you had to fight, it took me, I actually turned it off, I think Friday night. And I was like, all right, I'm going to play this later because I just kept dying at that dog. And then once you just got to like change your loadout, change up your strategy a little bit, pay attention to your health meters. It's key because you need to take potions or use cure spells once you get to a certain point. Or if they're attacking you and your health's already low, you're done.
Yeah, and that's super. I've lost one fight so far, and it was the first time that you get surrounded by like all of the dog, or you might not even be there yet.
Yeah,
actually.
I just got that right where you get your summon.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's what I'm talking about. And I just, like you said, I wasn't keeping an eye on my meter, my health meter, and then I got hit once by something dumb and died, and I was like, oh my god, that could have been so easily prevented, because you do have like high potions which give you a crap ton of your health back, or just the cure like spells. There's lots of ways to heal yourself in combat, so if you're doing that at the right times, I don't think the combat is super tough. But either way, the very first boss that you meet in this game is like this big scorpion tank thing, and this fight went on for like 20 minutes, and it was super brutal, and I was like, what an intro to like how the rest of this game is going to be as far as difficulty goes. It was tough.
And it seems like every fight, that you get to after that has just been harder.
Yeah, it's they're not pulling any punches. And this is just normal mode. I'm assuming if you play through the game, you might get a hard or something like that.
Yeah. Did you play this before on PlayStation?
Like the original?
Yeah.
Final Fantasy? Yeah. So it came as a 4-disc game back in the day. I think it was either 3 or 4.
3 or 4, I think.
And I know that I got to the second disc because there was a huge fiasco about how you actually swap discs, because I had no idea. I would shut the thing off and then put in the second disc and then start it back up again. But what you need to do is, while you're playing the game, you just needed to pop open the disc in the middle of it. Which, in what world is that the correct thing to do? Like, my brain
without
is like,
any sort of prompt or anything to tell you to do that.
Yeah, and it didn't tell you. So it like any game you're playing now, you're never gonna eject the disc in the middle of it, especially if you've got a 40-hour save attached to it. So I remember not knowing how to switch the disc, so I had to look it up. So I know I got to the second disc with the original at some point. But dude, that was so long ago that I don't. A lot of this
don't
is.
Remember any of it?
Yeah, I don't remember it because I haven't tried to really play it since, and if I have, I haven't gotten far at all.
I've just seen the memes of side-by-side comparisons, and it's night and day.
Everybody's a lot better looking. In Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Most definitely.
Yeah, definitely the one on our show notes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's Tifa. She's nice, and you left her a long time ago. You had to leave the city to go be a man, and now you're back, and she wants some.
Oh,
who doesn't?
Yeah, there's another girl named Jessie, and she will not stop. She's shameless. She's like, yeah, I'll let go of you if you come to my house tomorrow night. It's like, whoa.
What the hell?
That's a little forward.
Yeah, she's very forward. If you're not familiar with the story, I guess, you play as Cloud Strife. He's a ex-soldier or from this evil corporation called Shinra, who's taking all of the Earth's lifeblood, I want to call it.
Think of kind of like Avatar, how they're mining the tree of life or whatever.
Yeah, dude, that's super good comparison. It's called Mako, which, for the record, I had never heard pronounced before and always thought it was Mako. So the first time I heard someone say Mako, I was like, oh my god, I've been saying that wrong my whole entire life. But yeah, so you're this guy who left the evil corporation that's bleeding the planet dry of its resources. And then
soldiers are what, like SEALs, or like SEALs on steroids or something?
You're like the top ranking combatant, I guess, in the military. But you leave that group for a bunch of like...
Just like the
I've heard them referred to as eco-terrorists.
Yeah. They did say that in there, didn't they?
Which seems pretty fair. The first mission you're on, which this isn't really a spoiler, but you're tasked with taking down a Mako reactor, like one of the things that's harvesting all of this stuff up from the Earth, and that kind of sets up the game in a way. So you know what you're trying to do. You're trying to save the Earth. You used to be a bad dude who would just listen to whatever Shinra said, and now you're out on your own with this group called Avalanche, who's trying to save the planet, and that's like the big overarching goal here.
But you start out as strictly a merc, and it's all about the money. and you're a gun for hire basically, right?
Yeah, and then you kind of like as you start to meet characters,
You soften up a little bit.
yeah, I'm about 7 or 8 hours in now. Some of those numbers might be a little high if I've been sitting on pause doing whatever. But already in the first like 8 hours, you can kind of see the arc that Cloud is taking. Like he was just this hard ass soldier.
And the first time he cracks a smile.
Yeah, and people call him out like, "Whoa, was that a smile?
Whoa.
That was a smile."
And he's like, we've got to get out of here. It's not safe.
And they're like, "You're starting to lose your tough edge," and you just kind of you see him kind of just forming into like a family with these people, and the voice acting is all super good. The character models are some of the best in video games.
It looks amazing.
It's oh man, it's ridiculous how good this game looks, and the combat. I think this hybrid type of combat is perfect.
Right.
It's like a perfect in between of turn-based and like hack and slash, where hack and slash is just kind of like mindless, and the turn-based is kind of takes way too big of a brain. This is kind of like the middle area, the middle ground that I really enjoy.
And what are those little orbs that they give you? What do they call them?
Materia.
There's one. So these are like your spells and your different power-ups and things you can do. And there's one that was called you can get as an assess.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That's super useful to have like on a secondary, like a ring or something, or a piece of jewelry, because then you can assess the enemies instantly and see what their weakness is. Because as soon as you can get them broken, or what do they call it when they're like laying on their side?
I couldn't think of it earlier when I was trying to talk about it.
But basically they're dazed and they can't attack. They're just laying down.
And that's when you just
that's when you unleash your power moves on them. So I don't know. I'm loving this game. I want to go stop this podcast right now and go play some more. But
yeah, dude, I haven't been able to put it down. It came out out Friday.
Yeah.
I didn't play, or I played some Saturday and played. So I mean, I put 8 hours between 2 days, and that's
you had
with
to
me
find
still
your
being
controller first, right?
yeah, that was something on its own. And I
Like,
also the controller or the headphone jack on my PS4 controller like doesn't work. It only gives me audio in one headphone, and my PS4 sounds like a rocket ship. So the combination of those two things has me with my TV volume set at like 75.
Dude, the Pro is actually quieter than my Xbox, so I definitely need to blow out my Xbox.
You need to blow out that Xbox.
But I'm surprised with the Pro, dude, especially with all the problems they're talking about with the new PlayStation coming out. I might just keep this Pro for the next few years.
And this game has had me thinking, man, I wish I should get a Pro.
Had the Pro.
I wish I had a Pro. Maybe I'll just grab a Pro. I don't know.
We say, Chocolate, have we talked you into a PlayStation yet? I don't think this is your type of game, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was talking with a friend today, actually, at work, mentioning, I was like, I haven't got a PlayStation yet, and I'm trying to work out if I have time to kind of sink into a big game or an awesome game like this.
Right. I think they said it's, 40 hours, maybe 45 for completionists?
Which is super weird, and I'll touch on this quickly. This first thing is supposed to be the section of Final Fantasy VII where you're on Midgar. You're on like your starting big city world thing, and then it was supposed to end after that. According to everyone on the internet, that section of the original game was only like 8 to 10 hours, but with the remake, with the amount of stuff they've added, as far as like exploration and I'm assuming new side missions and stuff, they're saying 40 hours. So I'm wondering, like, where those extra 30 hours came from. Or, like, is it all extra, like, cutscenes and dialogue? Because the cutscenes, there's a lot of them.
Tons, yeah.
But because they're all so well done, like, you don't mind. It's like watching a movie. It's really good.
It's not like Kingdom Hearts when I set my controller down and go get a snack during the cutscenes.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, dude, Roach, that guy is a badass.
The motorcycle guy?
I love him. I hope he's throughout the whole game because he is awesome.
Yeah, you can. There's that's another thing, is that a lot of the dialogue in this game you'll find to be super kind of like cringe in my opinion.
Over the top.
It's super over the top, like anime, like peace signs up. Yeah, Roach is he's something. He's a
He's
dude who
awesome.
carries a sword around and has a motorcycle, and he just like you like joust him going down the highway at 150 miles an hour
Yeah.
on your motorcycles, and it's so over the top, but
This-
so good.
This just popped into my head, but he's basically Travis Pastrana if he was in an anime video game.
Yes,
Just
with a
doing
sword.
wheelies and flips and endos. And It's
Yeah,
so
I haven't
awesome.
met a character really. I mean, well,
Barrett kind of sucks right now for me,
Dude.
but I'm sure he'll come around.
I hope so. They want him to be so loud
Gruff
and
and- yeah.
obnoxious and abrasive, and
Yep.
it's like, let's either see a softer side or you need to stop yelling all the time because
Yeah.
you were just, whew. It's like they knew what they wanted to do, but then somebody like turned the dial to 11 on accident, and you're like, oh, what happened? Because
Yeah, they turned his toughness up to 25.
yeah, and it's completely different. Like when you're playing the original Final Fantasy VII, obviously nothing's voice acted, so you're
Right.
reading Barrett as how like he
would
sounds
think,
like a
right.
tough guy or whatever, but this just blows it up to the next level. And he's maybe the one part of this game that it's like, if you had to adjust one thing, just
Yeah.
turn Barrett down a few
You just want
notches.
to say, all right, pal, take it easy.
Yeah, but you're not going to say that to him because he has a built-in
Yeah,
Gatling gun
he
on
has
his
a
arm.
chain gun for a hand.
So you don't mess with that. No, you don't tell that guy to calm down.
No. But yeah, I'm loving everything about this game so far.
Yeah, I can't nitpick anything. I think it is pretty close to perfect. It just kind of sucks that it's
It's getting 9.5s and 10s from all the review sites too.
nice. And so far it seems like it should be. So that's good. The only thing I don't like is that it's going to be episodic, and it sounds
Right.
like this is the
That's
type
the-
of episodic where it's like 2 or 3
No.
years from now
Yeah,
you're gonna
exactly.
get part 2, and it's like, oh.
We're
But
gonna be those Kingdom Hearts nerds that are like, finally we get to know what happens.
I can't wait to be one of them.
Right.
But I bet you I end up replaying this first part 2 years from now. Like,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
because I'm gonna want a refresher.
Just like Game of Thrones, you always had to go back through the season just
Go-
to make sure you knew
Exactly.
everything that was happening.
Chocolate, it is fantastic though, and even if it doesn't seem like your type of game, I would still maybe scout out some streams or something. Maybe check it out. But
Well-
it's pretty much perfect in all regards as far as I'm concerned.
But yeah, the way you guys are talking has got me interested, so I might be jumping on Twitch and have a look and see who's doing what and what's happening.
And
Yeah,
then
Chocolate.
see if it's worth investing in a PlayStation.
Yeah, put it this way, I don't, I'm not a story guy, but I kind of missed a couple tidbits here and there of the story because my kids are loud and just life.
It's a zoo.
I want to almost go back and just watch all the cutscenes on YouTube just to catch up and make sure I know everything in the story.
Yeah,
Oh wow!
definitely.
So it's pretty cool. And there's thirsty ladies that look nice too.
Nice, thirsty looking ladies. If that isn't going to sell you to a game, I don't know what is.
Exactly.
Just pour them a drink.
She does
Quench
too.
their thirst.
So,
Quench
something
their thirst.
pours you something hard, Bear.
Oh dear.
What'll it be? Something hard.
Or not in the mood is your other option.
Not in the mood. Maybe I'll make that the thumbnail. Or, it might be a little too racy. I don't know. We'll see. It'll be a surprise for everyone. Yeah. Do you have anything else for Final Fantasy VII? Oh, I only wrote one thing down in my notes, which I try to keep little notes as I'm playing games. And the only thing I wrote down was that after you finish a side quest, it asks you if you'd like to go back to the original quest giver.
So awesome.
What a small quality of life thing.
I
that
love that.
goes 8 million miles. Like, instead
Yeah.
of having to, you finish it 10 miles away from the quest giver, and then you have to like trek back or go into your menus, go to a map, and then select them and then fast travel or something. It's
Yeah.
just like, all right, you finish this up. Do you want to go back
Just-
to the quest giver?
Yeah,
Yes,
it's just
of course
one,
I do.
One loading screen full of helpful tips away.
Oh my god, it's a small quality of life thing, but man, I wish every game did that. Can you imagine if The Witcher did that and it was
I
just like,
know.
now you can just walk or like teleport right back.
I was thinking Star Wars as well.
Or start, yeah,
Yeah,
any
all
game,
of
dude.
them.
God damn.
Yeah, but Star
So-
Wars would be
so
like
good.
a 4-hour game if that was the case.
Also
Well,
true.
that's true. Yeah.
But
that
it would
is
turn
true.
an 80-hour game like The Witcher into like a 40-hour game.
exactly.
So I think it works in
It
both
could be,
ways.
yeah,
kind of.
exactly. Double-edged sword.
Good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, I'm good on Final Fantasy VII. I recommend it to everybody. It's fantastic if you have a PlayStation. Even though it's just a part, you're getting 40 hours worth of gameplay, $60. It's near perfect. Well worth your money.
Right. And if you're going to not get one, it'll be out next year on Xbox.
There you go.
Woo, next year.
Woo! All right, so that's really all the new stuff we've been playing this week.
Right.
But let's catch up on some of the stuff that we play every week. Chocolate, what have you been playing the most this week?
As always, there's only one game. Apex, yeah. I've been played a little bit too long last night. I all of a sudden looked up after work and managed to sink 4 or 5 hours into
Boy, Bear.
Rookie
Apex.
numbers, Bear? What?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I was playing far too long. My wife kind of came in and was like, it's 2:15 in the morning. I was like, yes, maybe I should go to bed.
Yeah, I had my Friday and Saturday were like back-to-back 3 a.m. Warzone days, so yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But Apex is strange. They've seemed to fix the long loading times that I was complaining about last week before last.
They hear you, Bear.
They must. I must be a voice of reason.
They're listening.
Finally, somebody. So that's quite nice. However, I think I found a bug where as you're playing in ranked mode, it then switches you back into non-ranked matches.
That's not
Which is
great.
strange. Yeah.
It's like after
Just-
you finish a match, it goes back as like a default kind of thing.
I think so. I must admit, I was partaking a few adult beverages while I was playing this game last night.
This is always how these like I'm confused stories start.
What-
So
yeah,
I'm
what
ready to listen.
happened? Yeah, 15 beers later, I'm a bit like, what's happened? So yeah, I need to double check, but it just seemed that as your kind of your stats come up, it then kind of auto syncs you back into the non-ranked matches. Now, again, it could be me. I may have drunk one too many beers, but it just something felt odd or off because they've got duos in there and they've got the normal trios as part of the unranked gameplay. But yeah, like I said, just something about it felt off.
Were you able to try out the trials thing going on right now?
No, I was desperate to try, and every time I was with teammate of randoms, unfortunately, we didn't seem to progress or go that way, which was very annoying. But I did unlock the so part of the old ways content. They have their special skins and charms, etc., etc. And I did manage to unlock the gun charm that I wanted. So it's like a little birdie that goes on your gun. Because
like
all the rest
crow?
of crow. The rest of them seem pretty kind of average. Nothing excited me.
But are they giving
the
away
skins.
his whatever when he's running that move, whatever they call that, heirloom?
The heirlooms. No, that I think is you have to get through Apex coins.
Gotcha. Because I know they gave away what's his name's heirloom in the last event, right? The guy that injects himself with
Octane.
Octane. Yeah.
No, this one I'm pretty sure they don't.
Okay.
I will have to double check. Yeah, I'm sure the last skin, it might be a double pack. The last skin's a R301 skin.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, pass.
That's a good gun.
It is a good
I
gun.
love that gun.
It shreds.
It feels like the most Call of Duty gun, and I think that's why I like it.
Right.
So, yeah, if you get that and an R99, you've got the R400. You are rocking. But yeah, so Apex, loving Apex as always. It is my battle royale of choice and drug of choice.
Been getting those dubs, Bear?
I got one this week, but for the amount I've played and the amount of dubs I've got, it's not been not a good week.
That's
Been
right.
pulling off some crazy kills though, which is always lovely.
Make sure you clip it.
Need to clip it and get it on YouTube.
That's
I will
right.
do.
I got some clips for you from Warzone. I'm sure Risky does too.
Yeah,
I got all the clips. I gotta put those together and do something because they're gonna start to just stack up, and it's gonna get like overwhelming
Right.
because
Yeah.
awesome stuff happens in that game so often.
We need to have a C4 Olympics contest or something.
Dude,
Most creative kill with
C4.
C4. It's
C4 is so fun.
that would be fun.
Wonder when C4 is coming to Apex.
Oh, never. I did jump into Warzone actually. I jumped in with Moose and Art, and we had a couple of games, didn't we?
Wasn't too
this
bad,
week?
was it bad? We went what, top 4, top 3, something like that.
Yeah, I think we. I think it was consecutive. We got 5th and 4th, or 4th and 3rd. We,
Yeah. That day,
and-
Art got to play with all 3 Cross Atlantic Gaming hosts in one night. That was a
is this
rarity.
is that
yeah,
after I went to
after
bed?
you got off, Chocolate woke up, and
That's
we
so
played.
funny.
It was a good. It was good. Warzone is so much fun.
It
is
is.
fun. It's just
It's impossible solos
Oh yeah.
yeah.
or
It's
playing
so much,
like without comms. It.
well,
What's
finding
Randus?
yeah, with going with Art and Moose, it was really really good because you had that communication and the
Right.
we've got guys, and then you could have that. Right, do I want to engage? And you've got like a reasonable head on one side going, no, we shouldn't. Let's go
Yeah,
around
I've
them.
already
And then you've
shot twice.
got, yeah, and you've got someone else going, I'm going in, yeah.
Oh, every team's gotta have one of those. Looking at you.
Yeah, but I wish I
Chopin,
could be more
Dane.
like Shopa because they get like 11 kills. I just get downed all the time.
That's true. I'm always trying to figure out why that happens. It's like, why are your kills so high? But it's because you have players like me who point out the enemy
Right.
and then try to have a debate with their team about whether or not we engage. And then you have people like Chopa and Dan who see
Yeah.
a man and just start firing at him. Then you have to
And
ask
go,
them
Or
where
they
the bad
also
guys
they'll
are.
tag something across the map and be like, "Let's go here," and then all of a sudden they're running the other direction. Down one, down another, team wipe. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Where is everyone? I was running
has
towards that
happened?
marker you put down.
Yeah, exactly. I thought I was playing with the team here.
Hey, sometimes you put on a backpack and it is supportive enough to put 3 other full-size
Right.
men in it. So
Carry.
there you
Yeah.
go. All right, so Apex is still good. We agree that Warzone is still good, and Battle Royales have never been better. Where you at, Fortnite? We need a host that plays Fortnite so they can get... No, we don't. I changed my mind.
They
Sorry.
would have to be 11 years old.
Applications are not open at this time. All right, anything else? Actually, so I purchased Animal Crossing
Yeah, you did.
this past week, which is funny because I've been game sharing with you, obviously, Moose, with this. So it kind of does this weird thing where I am playing under your name, obviously, but it's still my save and my island and
Right.
everything. So in my head, I was like, all right, so if I buy this now, everything will just kind of transfer over and I'll just have Trubbish Island, which is the name of my island,
I don't think that's how it works, huh?
and we'll be good. So I started up, made my guy, and then it drops me down on my old island as like a guest
Yeah,
to my old
visitor.
island. It's so weird. And the game starts over completely. Like you get all of the intro stuff. He's introing like this are things you can do. Like a museum will be here in a couple days, even though you already have a museum built and it's sitting there and you can see it and go in it. But then you can't like interact or do anything with it. Like my old house was there, but it's like a stranger's house. I can't, when I go in there, I can't go into the inventory. I can't click on anything. So it's kind of like my new save was just me as a visitor to the old island. So I had to scrub the whole entire thing, which let me tell you was a scary thing because I knew I had to log in under you and then delete an Animal Crossing save,
Right.
which I was pretty sure was mine, but I did consult with you first and was like, dude, if I click this button, I have no idea if this is deleting your save, my save, or someone down the road save. So up to you. Let me know if I can hit delete.
Right. And
he said it
Animal
was good.
Crossing, in my opinion, is, you can delete it and start it over 100 times because there's really, I guess there are credits I just found out, but there's really no in-game. So I was
Right.
cool if you deleted my stuff.
So you said it was cool. I deleted it. Luckily, it didn't mess with yours at all. I had to start over, which, if anything, I can probably get back to where I was way quicker because
Right.
now I know how things work. And now that I'm playing where I can actually use some of the online functions, like going to people's islands, having you deliver fruit to my island, which is something we couldn't do before because it would essentially be you dropping off
Delivering it
fruit
to
at
myself
your own island that's owned
Right.
by me.
in
kind
another alternate universe.
Yeah, so that whole thing got messy, and now like you have one of each fruit. I can obviously take them from you and start each thing, and I'm already gonna be miles ahead of where I was on my.
I'm gonna do
10
you
hours
one
save
better,
from
my friend.
before.
I'm bringing you
Ooh.
one tree of each.
What a guy! And
Yeah,
these are
buddy.
these are gonna come with fruit already on them and stuff.
I think it still takes you a couple days, but you don't have to worry about the growing period.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I think it's what your fruit respawns like every other day or every third day, and then foreign fruit respawns like every fourth or fifth day.
Okay, yeah. I guess I haven't kept an eye on it at this point. I'm just
Yeah, my
Hacking.
island is a mess at this point. I'm just glad to get rid of that stupid bunny.
that was oh my god. I'm just glad I'm not digging up things that I think are super lucrative fossils
Right.
and they're just bunny eggs, or shooting down presents that I think are sweet do-it-yourself recipes and then
Right.
they're eggs, or fishing and thinking I'm gonna get a great white shark and then getting an egg.
Yeah.
So
He can kick rocks, dude.
yeah, and when you kick rocks, you also get eggs.
You're
So
right.
it's good that the bunny is gone. The Easter event is now over, and I'm not upset about it. So
Yeah. Too bad COVID won't go away that easy.
if only we could just snap our fingers, make it disappear like the Easter bunny.
Yep. That's
yes,
about
that's-
it, huh?
That's my update for Animal Crossing. We've started. This one's called Riskyton because
Oh, nice.
I know you had. Didn't you do Moostopia?
No, Madamuskar.
Oh, I should have done Riskitopia. I thought you were Moostopia, so I didn't want to mess with it. I'm
That would've
Riskyton
been
for
it.
now.
There you go.
Yeah, so I've got all sorts of new loans from Tom Nook, and I'm ready to charge headfirst into this.
I got 3 rooms in my house right now.
Oh.
They're just full of turnips.
Speaking of Moose breaking the game,
What? I bought $500,000 worth of turnips. That's not illegal.
I don't know. It's not illegal. It's cheesy as all get out, though.
But I haven't gone on Twitter to find my best price yet.
Yeah, I will say it's a fine sale if you don't go search out on Twitter and you just periodically check your friends' islands and
Yeah.
check your prices. Then I'll say it's fair. If you go to Twitter and find the lady who's selling for or buying for 500 a piece,
It's just
Cheesy.
a networking game, Risky. It's who you know. She follows me on Twitter now. I told her I'd hook her up if I got a good price.
oh, see, now you're friends and now it's okay.
Exactly. It's networking.
Perfect.
I'm polite, you know. I
that's-
don't offer anything up front. I bring some furniture with me to give as a present, but some people are giving away like 100,000 bells plus like tickets to mystery islands and all sorts of crap.
It is cool watching. I've watched a few YouTube videos of like, I'm going to go to five-star islands that people have created, and then my favorite one, I'm just going to drop off 1,000,000 bells at their front
Right.
door. And it's kind of cool, the stuff you can do as like a content creator, as far as getting like seeing your community, even like with the X1 bros. I know a lot of them are playing this game, and just getting to go and see what people are doing on their islands, seeing what they're doing with it. It's just it's cool. I like
Yeah,
it.
I go check out other people's islands, but my island is a mess, so I don't invite people to my house.
I was gonna
if
say,
know what
can
I
you
mean.
close off access? Like
Yeah,
the
you can-
airport is closed.
Basically, you just either you open your gates for people to come visit, or you go to visit other people. So
Okay,
sounds good.
either you open your gates and people can come, or they can't. So
So
it's,
you
it's
just
real
make sure that
easy.
you're always going to visit somebody else.
Exactly.
I like it. Yeah, Animal Crossing still a chore, and a good chore, and a fun chore, but a chore nonetheless.
Something to do while you're watching all those sweet shows that your wife and kids like.
Might make you watch.
Yeah,
Fair.
But we got through stage 8 of the Millennium Falcon.
Yes.
So it's
How many more
almost
bags
done.
we got?
2 more.
All right,
2 more bags.
get in there. Get that
Might be
stem
done
in.
tonight. Yeah, buddy. Oh, they're so frustrating to do Legos with. But that's okay. We're getting it done.
Stick with Duplos forever.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Duplo.
Said no one ever. All right. Anything else that anybody wanted to touch on?
I progressed a little bit further in Kingdom Hearts. I beat the Frozen Wolf, so now I'm on Jack Sparrow's island. And dude, the artistry looks really cool. Like they took all the Disney characters and like put them into like
Pirated
live
them?
action almost. They don't look like cartoons. They look
That's
like
weird.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'll have to take a screenshot or something and post it.
Huh.
So.
So it's
but
just the art style is just completely
it's like
different.
realistic. Yeah.
Oh,
Is-
wow.
Is this their
That's-
latest expansion or something? Or
No, I think it was always part of the game. I
Oh, okay.
just-
It's just how this world looks.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I'll find a picture of it and post it in Discord.
Please do. You good, Chocolate?
Yep. Oh, finished Halo 2.
Halo 2. All right. Hey, chugging
Nice job
along.
there.
Yep.
3 more to
done and
go.
Dusted. Yes, but I've played from 3 onwards, so now I've got the back part of
We've
the
got
backstory.
Reach and ODST and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Oh, did Reach as well. So we've done
nice.
Reach. So we've done them in order. So Reach, CE, and then Halo 2's done. So now it's Halo 3. And yeah, looking forward to going through. What they've done with the cutscenes, you were mentioning about Final Fantasy, how they've made the cutscenes in the Master Chief Collection kind of almost live action esque is amazing. The difference is night and day. It's as if it's like a dreadful horror, budget C type movie to a AAA, Steven Spielberg or James Cameron esque. It's so good.
Those 4K updates.
Oh, unbelievable! Absolutely unbelievable.
That's awesome.
So yeah, really enjoying that.
I think I'm going to play through those with my nephew. I just need to get the time.
Halo Reach is the best Halo, for the record.
Oh, there you go.
Unpopular opinion? Maybe.
I don't know, so I will let you know.
I guess I really wouldn't know either because I don't think I finished any of the other ones. So
I finished the first one and that was it. And I beat that one on every difficulty
Oh wow, that's an achievement.
because it was one of 2 games that I had my freshman year in college.
fair. Back in the good old
So
days when we
yeah.
could only have 1 or 2 games.
It
a
was
year.
either Halo or Madden, so
Ugh.
I had already took everybody's money in the dorm from Madden.
I wish I would just pick like 1 game a month and be okay with it. Like 12 games a year,
Right?
count it, but it never ends up being that. So.
Nah.
All right, cool. That's what we've been playing this week. Before we move on to the news, I told you guys that we were gonna have some more information about Game Pass Roulette and the time trial challenge that we're having for our game, which is Lonely Mountain Downhill. So the mountain we chose is the very first mountain that you're gonna unlock. It's your starter mountain. It's called Graterhorn or Greaterhorn. I'm gonna go with Graterhorn. You need to have Trail 2 unlocked, so it's not going to be the very first one. It will be the second one, so you do have to play a little bit. And then the mode that you're going to be doing this, make sure you're in free rider mode. That's going to make it so you cannot crash at all on your way down. And then it's just going to have your best time from start to finish. No checkpoints or anything like that. We don't have restrictions on the bikes. You can unlock any ones you want. And one thing I figured out is that you can also unlock them in any order you want. So
Right. You just have to use the parts.
yeah, you unlock parts as you go. And then what I did is I just bought the very last bike. I think it cost 8 gear points or whatever. That was the second one I unlocked. And that's the one that can take like the most fall damage and just
Right.
go down the most ridiculous
Drop off the cliffs.
Yeah, it can do some ridiculous stuff. Our current leader right now, which of course it's him, but Rocker has the fastest time right now. It is 1 minute 46 seconds.
I'm getting close. I'm like within 45 seconds of him right now.
I was the first because that's the first thing I did is after trying this 27 times, I
Right.
finally got down the mountain without crashing.
Yeah,
And I was like,
just had one complete run and it was 2 minutes 30 seconds.
yeah, which is exactly where I landed. And I was like, all right, it's a starting point.
Right.
And to me, that felt pretty fast. And then, like, the first thing he posted was a picture that is an old picture because that was he's played this game before, so it was like his previous best time on Freerider on that trail, and it was like 2 minutes, and then he actually tried, and now it's down to 1:46, which in my brain I'm like, there's no way I'm cutting out 45 seconds from this run unless there are some secret trails which is definitely a thing. There are plenty of trails that you don't see until you go exploring. And I would say that's probably how he got his time down so low. So if you're out there on Gratterhorn Trail 2, looking to beat Rocker's time, make sure you're looking everywhere.
Right. Just jump off a rock and see where it goes.
Yeah, and I think a good way, a tip that I would give to everyone is to play this specific trail on a mode that gives you the actual checkpoints,
right?
Because then you can kind of feel out each section. You can try the midway point down the mountain multiple times to try to find that secret hidden way down or whatever. So yeah, 1:46, Gratterhorn Mountain Trail 2 on Freerider mode. Use any bike you want, and whoever has the best time come May 5th, which is episode 102.
And Cinco de Mayo.
And Cinco de Mayo, good call. They're going to win themselves $10. If one of the three of us can step up and knock out Rocker, we're going to throw that $10 into the pot for not next month, but the months after his pot.
The next challenge.
The next Game Pass Roulette Challenge. That's what it should be called when it's that month. I like it. I'm gonna type that in the show notes right now so I don't forget.
Good.
Whoa, don't look. That was a misspell.
Somebody beat the Rocker. I am not confident in my abilities at this moment, but I'm gonna keep trying.
I'm gonna go on YouTube and I'm gonna watch the fastest run and I'm gonna try to recreate it because at this point I don't know what else to do.
Exactly, or just try to get a hold of that creator and have him log in your gamer tag.
Yeah, quick! I need to win this $10. It might not be worth your time, guys.
I'll give you $20 to beat that.
Yeah.
I can't even get out of the first mountain.
Oh, and Chocolate.
This game messes my head.
I was going to tell you, and I mentioned in Discord, but I'll tell everybody else. They do have two different control schemes where you can either do it so left and right is going to move the wheel left and right, but then they also have a screen, like directional mode, where you point towards the direction you want the bike to go towards, and that's the way it'll go. Because I know you were talking about where if you turn one way and then your bike's pointing uphill, it like switches the controls in your brain and it just doesn't click for you. They do have a separate control scheme just for you, and I actually know that is how Rocker plays it as well, is that not the default left and right one, but the directional one. So
direction's right.
This might be up to you to beat him because you play with the weirdo.
So you just roll your thumbstick to move the bike instead of changing left and right?
I guess so. Like if you want to go left, you just point left, and if you want to go up diagonal, you just point up diagonal.
Okay.
So there are the two different control schemes. Yeah. Good luck, everybody. Good luck to us.
Yeah.
It's going to take some effort this time around. But yeah, so that is Lonely Mountain Downhill, a fun little downhill mountain bike game. So yeah, get your scores in. Try to take down Rocker because right now he's the man to beat.
The man.
All right. With that.
What if we just kill him? Would that be a good solution or no?
I don't know.
For $10,
I guess we'll
go
to the. I guess we'll go to the news.
I might pay you $10 to not do that.
I don't know. Joe Exotic paid $3,000.
I knew there was a joke somewhere. I just didn't know when it was coming or what it pertained to.
Nope, just random thoughts of Moose.
All right, good. Well, random thoughts of Moose. Let's get into some news. All right, Moose, what's going on in the news this week? Please no assassination stories.
I don't think I have any, so you're in luck.
All right, perfect.
So I'm going to start out with some not so great news, though. Sony is providing refunds, so that was my headline. The digital pre-orders for Last of Us 2 and Iron Man VR are being refunded as games have been delisted and delayed. The website basically says check your email for details.
Okay.
So
yeah.
that's not a good sign. I didn't really list this, but PlayStation's still having lots of issues with their heating. So I think they're putting everything on hold until they figure this heating issue up.
Yeah, and I think you might see some of that from Xbox games too. I think it's kind of just when you stamp a delayed indefinitely onto it,
Right.
it's like, well, then I probably shouldn't be locked into a pre-order now if you're going to switch it from a date, even if it's like a coming 2020 to, and then it gets put as indefinitely. You should get your money back, in my opinion.
Sure.
So
Yeah,
it's a good
absolutely.
move, but yeah, I don't.
It's not a good sign.
Not a good sign at all. That sucks.
Because these are the only two games they were kind of pushing for PS5, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, well, at least The Last of Us. I think Iron Man VR would probably be for this generation. I don't even know. Are they doing VR for next gen?
I don't know. I don't think it's ever been mentioned, has it?
Right.
my
So Iron Man VR was
knowledge.
probably something that was supposed to come out for this. But yeah, Last of Us 2 obviously would have been for next gen, and now who knows what's going to be happening with that with
Right.
COVID and their units just not working in general.
That PlayStation Pro on my shelf is looking better and better every day.
Yep, and it's making me want to just go get my own. So we'll see.
So, Chocolate, any input on this story, buddy?
It's never good, is it? It's, thing is, I do think they could have. Well, no, maybe they're being more upfront. They could have hid behind the COVID,
Right.
the
Yeah.
COVID saga, but
I just.
yeah,
I don't know how they get these consoles to almost launch point with these heating issues. They've had to been tested and retested and tested hundreds and thousands of times before anybody else got their hands on it, right? You'd think.
I was just going to say, how do you let it get that bad? But then I suppose, how did Xbox release the Red Ring of Death? So I guess
That's true too.
There's only so much testing, or only so much people push.
But that's what
I suppose
this
they push.
is, right up there with the Red Ring of Death as far as everything I've read is, it's a fatal flaw for the PlayStation 5.
Yeah. Unless they turn around and do something, it's all, I don't know, a ruse. It sounds completely stupid, but
Like they were just
I don't know.
joking and everything's fine.
possibly, or it releases and everyone's like, oh, what are you talking about? What overheating issue? It's fine.
Yeah, I'm going to give that one a year.
Changing people's expectations. Who knows?
Yeah. But-
Whatever. It's if it does launch and that is the reason, they are setting themselves back for all the great things they've done
Right.
for
Yeah.
their brand.
That's 10
I
steps
don't think
back.
it won't kill their brand, but it will definitely shift. I
No.
think people on the fence and soft PlayStation fanboys, air quotes, potentially to either not game no more or jump onto Xbox or the Switch or whichever.
Right. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting, and like I said, I think I'm going to sit back for about a year and just see what it does, because it seems like Sony are not the ones that are coming out with the heating issues. It's people that are working on the dev kits. So I'm still waiting to hear from Sony on this issue.
Yeah,
So.
we shall see. Closer to release date, I think, is the time you're going to see in and around August, September time.
Right, and
I think
this,
what's going to happen.
This could have been the classic bait and switch, look over here, nothing to see there type thing. But they did release the DualSense controller reveal last week. So, in my opinion, it looks like an Xbox controller. It's adapting many features that the One X controller has. It's haptic feedback, adaptive triggers, etc. There's not going to be any offset triggers or offset thumbsticks, which I think they did a poll, and about 99% of the people said they'd rather have them offset, but they just got to be different. So they're keeping them straight across. And now there's going to be a built-in microphone in the controller so that you can chat with anybody at any time. I'm not sure how this is going to work.
Sounds like
Yeah.
something that's going to monitor what I'm saying all the time. and
Right.
Tell somebody I might not want to hear these things. I don't know.
Yeah.
Weird.
I'm looking at it and I think it looks like a boomerang. Do you remember?
It's
Is
just
that-
the way
when
that
was
they
it?
designed the details of it make it look so much taller, and you know what I mean.
It reminds me of a mock-up I'm sure I saw for either the PS3 or the PS4, where the controller kind of was like a little bit like that, but smoother, and like I said, it looked like a boomerang. It reminds me of that mock-up from years and years ago.
Yeah, I think it was PlayStation 3. That's familiar to me.
I think my issue when I first looked at that thing was aesthetically how it looked.
Right.
Like, I don't like how they, like, the certain parts that are sectioned off with like black lines that kind of make it look like different pieces. Like, if that was a completely matte black finished controller with like white buttons or something, or just anything that looked more standard,
Right.
this one felt weird and like futuristic, because
Yeah.
since then I've seen mock-ups of like,
Just
this is
solid
what a
colors.
Spider-Man one could look like, this is
Right.
what a Kingdom Hearts one can look like, and they don't look bad, but the like initial
white-
design
This one looks like
cosmetically
it's
is like,
the
ugh.
yeah, it looks like it's a Detroit Become Human edition PlayStation controller.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Or
yes.
know, the R2D2 PlayStation controller or something like that.
Yeah, like robotic.
Exactly.
As weird as that sounds. So I think give me a nice matte black or like subtle red. Like I have the red controller right now and I love it. Just
Yep.
anything besides what they did. I think it's just ugly. But it looks more form-fitting than any
Yeah.
other controller, and it's probably just because it's a little more rounded and less.
It's like they're saying
I
they're
don't
they're
know.
revolutionizing the video game controller, and Xbox has had this same exact controller that everybody's basically been
In
modeling
love with.
for the last 10 years.
Oh, yeah. As
You
well.
know what I mean? Because the
Right.
Nintendo Pro controller is essentially an Xbox controller. So is the Steam Link, isn't it?
And I love the Pro controller. No, the Steam
No.
controller is super weird.
Oh, fun
I-
fun story. My kid spilled a whole cup of milk in one of my Pro controllers last week. That was awesome.
Can you return
Ouch.
them? Have we talked about this before?
I don't know. What, the kids or the controllers?
The kids.
No, I don't think so. I think we're beyond that statute of limitations.
Ugh,
I love
next
them.
time.
I'll keep them. They're
All right,
pretty
fine.
great.
just don't send me your spoiled milk controller.
It just smells a little bit bad.
That's fine.
Oh God, you could give that away.
Like some of that. some
Yeah,
of that
that'll be part of the 100th episode next week.
Oh, so gross. Please do not ship that to anyone. Ugh. All right, what's next?
47-minute long inside Xbox presentation. You guys catch it?
Wee-wee. Perfect amount of time.
Yes, I watched all of it.
I did too. I watched it today actually. So it seemed like it was a little more concise this time, as it usually is, like over an hour or two, right?
Yeah, I think it.
They've definitely
So-
gotten longer.
Yeah, but this one was they cut it down and gave you just kind of the meat of most of the stories, and you know they usually go in depth about stuff. They only kept that to about a 2-minute segment or so for each game, so that was nice.
Yeah, normally they'll talk to each game. They'll talk to like 2 or 3 people
Right.
who worked on the game, won't they? To
Yeah, see what they had for
Bump it out.
lunch, see what car they drove to work that day.
Exactly. I think considering what it was, there wasn't a lot of stuff
Sure.
to be released. I think it felt quite a bit regurgitated, but in the current climate, kind of understand that.
Right. But one
But I
thing
think they put on a
go ahead.
good show. I was just going to say, I think they put on a good show considering.
Right, and they did show a game that kind of piqued my interest a little more right off the bat. Was Grounded. So they showed the story trailer for it. It's a Honey I Shrunk the Kids type vibe survival game, and you have to fight lawn bugs and spiders and ants and all sorts of cool stuff, and you craft your weapons out of things that you collect around there, and you build a fortress, and your goal is to repair a machine that was the shrink ray, essentially, to get back to your normal life. It looks pretty
Yeah,
cool to
that's-
me.
It does look quite good. It's a game I didn't try when I was at EXO. I looked at it and I was told that you have to try it, and I gave it a miss because I thought, no, this is not something I'm into. But it does look really good.
Right, and it'll be what, July on Game Pass is when it comes out.
I think so. I missed all the dates and
Yeah.
stuff, but yeah, it's coming.
I want to say it's July that it comes out. So those dead no game stays in summer will be we'll be able to play Honey I Shrunk the Kids. So, Risky, did you watch that movie, or are we too old for that?
No, I did watch that.
Okay.
And because this isn't the first time we're hearing about this, right?
No,
like
it
this was
came-
at E3 or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So yeah, I thought it looked awesome. Well, different, I guess.
Yeah.
I might not be all about survival games, but maybe if you put a weird theme and like skin on it, like, hey, you got shrunk and your enemies are just going to be giant bugs that would be in your yard and you're going to have to run from a lawnmower or something stupid like that.
Right.
I'm kind of about that part of it at least. So
Give it
sounds
30
cool, man.
hours, right?
Yeah, exactly.
A little garbage monster weekend, no big deal.
Knock it out of the park.
They did say there's a story in there tied in the whole game, so it should be good.
Well, that's what I think. The one, even from just what you said there, it's like knowing you have one goal, like you're trying to rebuild the Shinkrei, and so you have like an end goal. I think that will go a long way in a
Right.
survival game. So that even just that there kind of makes me feel like, well, it's not something I would be playing for 3 hours a day for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
It's
there is an
something
end
that I
game.
could beat.
Exactly.
Right, exactly.
So it looks cool to me. I'm sure I'll check it out, especially if it's on Game Pass for free. So,
Why not?
and you can play it with up to 4 people multiplayer as well. So I'm not sure
Oh,
how
sweet.
the crafting and sharing and all that stuff works, but hopefully it's figured out better than State of Decay was.
Oh God, yeah.
So up next, there was a guy with a giant beard and no hair that talked about the Series X tech specs. It was pretty nerdy. You can check that out if you want. It talks about the new storage system and how their memory cards are proprietary. And if you want your Series X games you can store them on a hard drive, but if you want to play them, you've got to transfer it to the internal SSD or one of those external chips. So yeah, but we'll see. It was a bunch of nerdy stuff there. And then they had a segment about all the games that are out this month. I'm sure Bear will be talking about that later on.
Hopefully I'll put them all in.
Also,
It
some
says-
games that were coming to Game Pass actually today, right? As this podcast drops, there's a couple of them, right, Bear?
Yes, I definitely didn't put them down.
Okay, well, we can get them for you. Then they talked about Game Pass is dropping in South Korea and Japan this week. So that's pretty cool.
I didn't know they didn't have it. So
No, me either.
good for them.
Yeah, so South Korea and Japan will now be in the Game Pass family. So good on them. I think they're pushing real hard to get that Asian market up and rolling because they are bringing out some more Persona games, or not Persona. What's the Mafia? Yakuza.
Yakuza, yep.
Yeah, they're dropping some more Yakuza games. They're dropping some more of the JRPGs, some of the old school stuff. So looks pretty cool. And then after that, there was some Gear Tactics information. It was like 5 things you need to know about Gears. The first thing is it was built for a PC. So they have spec'd and tuned everything for a computer game, not a console game. And then they're adapting to the consoles the way I understood it.
Which is good because, like, with RTSs, that PCs with a mouse and keyboard is definitely the best way
Right.
by a million miles to
Exactly.
play stuff like that.
Fun tidbit number 2 was you play as Gabe Diaz. So that is Kat's dad, I believe. Is that right, Bear?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Cat's daddy.
And then they revealed the bad guy is Yukon. Is that right?
Ah,
Or
I didn't
Yuko?
get the name.
Yeah, it's like
Something
Yuko or
like that, yeah.
Yukon. And he's a real bad dude. Then the executions will be helpful in the game. So, you know, those sweet executions that you could do in multiplayer when you could come up behind somebody and chop them up with your machine gun
Lancer.
chainsaw
Lancer.
thing. Yeah, your Lancer. And what was the 5th thing? Oh, it's going to have super deep RPG elements, so you can customize your character's looks as well as the way they fight, all their perks, their details. It's going to be a super deep RPG. So if you guys are into that,
Yeah.
they want you to check it out. So I know you probably will be checking this game out, right, Risky?
Yeah. I mean, I try. It'll be
This is like XCOM, right?
it'll be free. Well, oh, yeah,
Isn't that
So
what
maybe I
Gears
will.
Tactic is? Yeah, I thought
yeah.
so.
It 100
Yeah.
it 100% is. I was just thinking Halo Wars.
Oh yeah, that's yeah. I tried that.
because I also called it an RTS.
Right.
It's not an RTS.
Yeah. What is this? Is it just an XCOM like? What kind of game?
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay. So, yeah, that'll be out, I believe, later this summer as well. I want to say June, but I didn't write down the date because I'm a
I
terrible
think it's
person.
summertime-ish.
Right.
And then it releases on console holiday-ish, or was it next year?
Couldn't tell you, babe.
Yeah, I can't remember it, but it will release to console as well.
So,
But also,
Gears.
there
Go
might
ahead.
be a delay. Who knows?
Yeah, right. Everything's up in the air. 2020 is on hold or canceled at this point. So,
We're in uncertain times.
up next, they revealed that the whole Hotline Miami collection is out now on Xbox. So, is it what, 2 games? Is that right, Risky?
As far as I know, yeah, it's only
Yeah.
2.
And you own them on the Switch?
No, I've never actually played a Hotline Miami game.
Okay. I think
I-
it's kind of like GTA, right? Old classic GTA top down, do stuff for the mafia.
Yeah, and the game that I have is called Hawaii Shakedown, I think.
There you go.
And
That's what I
that-
got it confused with.
That one's definitely, I have that one on the Switch, and that one's kind of modeled after those games. So
Gotcha. So I don't think they're in Game Pass, but they may be coming.
Yeah, they're not in Game Pass. I'm hoping they do come to Game Pass because I would be on that.
yeah,
Right.
I hear nothing but good things about those games. So
And then up next, they had a nice little about 10-minute segment of gameplay for The Last Campfire. That game looks pretty dang cool. So
definitely one I'll check out.
Yeah, it's a 3D platforming puzzler, and all the puzzles in the game are going to be different. So it's going to be kind of like a mixed bag of puzzles. So unlike other puzzle games, the puzzles seem to be similar or the same. They want to touch every part of your brain for puzzles. So they have all sorts of different kinds. Looks pretty cool to me. You see this one, Bear?
Yes, yeah, I did. It did look really interesting. It's only just, I think they only showed the first few bits, didn't they? It was like the first level.
Right.
Because it doesn't, I don't think it's been finished yet, from what I gather. But what was the art style? It was like kind of a little bit like Limbo
Right,
kind
yep.
of view with this white ghost
Yeah, it's
type thing.
like not neutral colors, but kind of like dark colors, and then they use black a lot to, bring in moods and shadows, things like that.
But it does look. It'll be pretty cool. I think.
Yep,
Pretty cool
I think
game.
that one's coming to Game Pass as well. So
Love Game Pass.
yeah, buddy. Next, they had some news about the Xbox Game Bar. So some new features to help ease streaming. You should be able to stream straight from the Game Bar now. There's a bunch of different things. So if you're interested in streaming, check out that little segment. But that's what it was mainly for.
Game Bar is awesome. That's how
Yeah.
I use it for like Sea of Thieves. I mean, mainly that's it because that's the only one I'm doing crossplay with at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Game Bar
You
is
can-
super easy. It's
Yeah.
you hit Windows G and then it's just an overlay that goes over everything, and you can mess with all of your settings for gaming, and it's a perfect little tool.
Yep. And you can check, that's a good way to get into all your different audio levels. If you don't know how to do it, just do Windows G and it pulls up everything that's producing audio. And there's sliders on every single one, so you can change your audio settings. Because
Like
Warzone, that game is
That was
loud
also-
as crap.
I was also gonna say, there's multiple times when I've hopped into like parties through Game Bar, and people are like, "Why do you sound so crappy?" And I look at my settings, and it's like my webcam's mic is
Yeah,
what's picking me
exactly.
up, and I'm like,
Yep.
"Oh, how did this switch itself?" So maybe some of these updates will clean up a couple of those small little issues.
Right.
But overall, it's a solid product, especially if you're doing crossplay with people on Xbox.
Most definitely. And then the last little segment they had to do with Sea of Thieves. It's their Ships of Fortune update. So what I got from this is it's going to be factions, kind of like Destiny. Right, Risky? Did you see this one?
Yeah, so this is aren't they the factions that are already out?
Yes, and you can join one of them and then unlock unique cosmetics and perks.
It's like
and Destiny's faction thingy.
oh, faction. Yeah, is that
Yeah.
what you said?
Yeah.
Faction rallies? Is that what
yeah,
it's called?
buddy.
Okay.
Something
well,
like that.
You know more about Destiny than I do, so
So,
yes, it's
yeah,
like faction rallies. That's exactly what it does remind me of. Good call.
so you've got that to look forward to. Also, they've did an overhaul in the arena mode. They turned down the time, I think, to 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's gone from, was it 24 to 15?
Yeah, and then also there's going to be one ship now that you can turn in treasure on. That's it on the whole map.
Yeah, and there's always a light shining, so you can always see it.
And if you've got the treasure, there's going to be a light shining also. So it's going to be a lot more difficult. And I know, Jesse, if you're listening, you're stoked for this update because now you can get a cat.
Yes, it's perfect.
Perfect.
One note on Sea of Thieves, which I might have been talking to you about it at one point, is that the latest Tall Tale, which is their like PvE content, their story content, it's called Heart of Fire. You're going down to Flameheart. He was like this old captain who most of the Sea of Thieves lore is like based around him. You're going down to get this treasure chest. That's the most recent Tall Tale. And a lot of the earlier ones are kind of like boring and a lot more puzzly, but if you want to get into Sea of Thieves, I encourage everyone to start this up. There's a little book that'll be on the bar at any tavern on the far right side of the bar. Pick it up and start the quest. It's like playing out a small chunk of an Indiana Jones film. Like there's swinging axes, there's some platforming, which is completely new to Sea of Thieves, like having to jump and having it matter. And there's a bunch of parts that are voice acted with actual characters, and it's cool. Just it blew me away. Jesse, Prince of Cats, obviously, is big into this game. He's like, dude, you need to play this. And I hadn't played Sea of Thieves in a while. I was like, all right, I'll check it out. Yeah, totally blew my expectations out of the water for a Tall Tale. And well worth it took us maybe like a half hour, 45 minutes. Like it's super short. But
that's cool.
The little slice that it is, and you get $8,000, I think, for just finishing it. So it's so it might be more like an hour or so. And I also don't know if you only get that payout on your first run of it. I'm not sure if you can keep doing it, but either way, that little quest it's super awesome, and totally not like anything else you've done in Sea of Thieves. Most of it you're not even on your ship. So I
was gonna say, how is it with like griefing and stuff? Can you get all the way to the end and then not win because somebody came and punked you?
No, so like part of the quest is finding a key to get into the secret lair, and if you don't have a key, you can't get into it.
Oh, nice.
You can obviously still get griefed. Like if somebody sinks your boat, well, you have that key on your boat, you're SOL.
Right. Okay.
But once you start it, literally once you dock your ship at the beginning of it, you don't see your ship again until the very end. So even if somebody comes around and sinks your ship, it doesn't matter. You will have beaten it by the time you get back up above ground. It's well worth checking out.
Sweet.
Yeah, do it.
All right. Well, that concludes our Inside Xbox portion, at least. I got a couple more notes here. So, Stadia, finally free to play.
But is it too late? Question mark.
Right. So,
free?
Yeah. Google is offering 2 months of Stadia Pro for free. They said it was for only 2 days, but I looked today as of, Monday the 13th, and it was still available. So, and you can go ahead and click a box that says do not subscribe, so that as soon as your 2 months is up, it's just cut you off and you're done.
Yeah, that's good.
Yep, perfect.
So, and it works with any controller. So I've heard DualShocks work, Xbox controllers work. I don't know about a Pro controller, but I assume it would.
Yeah, it should be anything that's Bluetooth, I would assume. Right. So,
or anything that you can hardwire via USB to your PC if you're playing on that. So check out Stadia. They've got 8 games or something you can play. Most of them you can play somewhere else.
Maybe check out Stadia.
Yeah, that's what there's really nothing.
If you got xCloud, I don't think you need to.
Yeah.
I don't know. Stadia missed the mark by so much.
They have one game, but I haven't heard any news about it. So I think
was that their one exclusive game or whatever?
That one.
It just felt like a super indie game that maybe
exactly.
like some people love, but most people will have never heard of, that kind of thing.
But if you've been curious about the old Google Stadia, now's your time. Just go to their website and you sign up, and you got 60 days for free.
Yay!
So now on to our sports segment of the news.
Excuse me?
Yeah, buddy.
Sports aren't a thing.
Yeah. So there was a 2K tournament over last week with all the NBA players because they got nothing better to do. And Sunday, Devin Booker beat his teammate DeAndre Ayton for the championship. Every game was 2 out of 3, so it wasn't any kind of flukes or anything. And we need sports back bad.
Yeah, and if you're familiar with Chicharito, which a lot of the that name, that name, right? Chocolate.
Hernandez.
Yeah, sure.
We do indeed.
Yep.
That man, he's they're currently doing a FIFA tournament with other teams
MLS players,
in
right?
the MLS,
Yep.
right? So it's just another cool thing. I think it might have been starting today. I just
Yeah.
read about it today.
Yep, I saw it today too.
So that's
So,
pretty cool.
They're doing it with NASCAR now. They're doing it with I think the MLB guys are starting one too. I read some.
They should.
Yep.
With MLB The Show.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So I think they're going to be doing a bunch of these sim seasons with actual players. So
Which
got
is,
nothing better to do.
yeah.
Check out the Twitch. Most of these guys are streaming on Twitch. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Did you see, just while we're talking about sports quick, they're doing like that horse tournament? Have you seen that?
yeah. It's
The
like
semifinals
some
are like Thursday or something.
Yeah, some WNBA players, some previous NBA players, and some current NBA players, and they're up to the semifinals now.
Yeah, it's so cool. Everybody's just playing like at their own places.
Dude, and they got some crazy shots too.
Yeah, which
Like,
is
Zach
exactly what you would
Levine.
assume it would be.
Yeah, he did like a reverse layup with slapping the backboard on the other side of the hoop before he did it. And it's like, and who was he playing against? It was
I
one of the
don't remember.
retired guys, and he was just like, "No, I ain't doing that one. Give me my letter."
No, I'll take the O.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So
Fun
they're
times.
trying to get creative. All these things are raising money for charity, so it's good, and it's to help people pass the time with the boredom. Because literally, like, I'm glad I cut the cord because there's nothing to watch on TV now. It's all on Hulu or Netflix or, I watch ESPN and it just makes me sad.
I was gonna say, like, that used to be my car rides into work, just listening to ESPN radio, and
Right.
for a while you just had you could tell people were recording from their basements, and you're like, man, that's what we sound like. We could be on the radio.
Yeah.
Like, what?
And then
Come
at this
on.
point, we're on NFL mock draft number 167 because there's nothing else to talk about.
Oh man, this will be the first time ever that I sit and watch an entire draft just because there's no other sports to watch.
No, I still can't do it. I got games to play, bro.
Yeah, true.
So, up next, there was a new rating in the ESRB system. So the new rating will say in-game purchases, which is not new. That was added a few years ago. But in parentheses, it says includes random items and will go on any game containing loot boxes. So
FIFA.
yeah,
Yep,
FIFA,
100%.
Overwatch, any of those ones where there's random drawings.
NBA 2K20.
Oh yeah, 2K20 is a casino, dude. So all those games are going to have to disclose that there's a random chance inside the game. So I think that's, a step in the right direction at least, if not, banning loot boxes altogether.
That's just them sidestepping, not banning loot boxes. That's all that is. Someone high up somewhere
They just said,
has
hey,
paid
it was on the
someone
box.
else.
That's your fault for not paying attention.
Yeah, well, someone has paid someone some money.
Who was the guy?
to,
He used to play for the Oklahoma City Thunder, and he said that he went to the grocery store and his credit card got declined because his kids had racked up $16,000 worth of charges on Fortnite.
Oh, it was Kendrick Perkins.
Yeah, Kendrick Perkins. There you go.
$16,000 in Fortnite
Dude,
stuff.
they've
What?
maxed out their dad's credit card on Fortnite. Dude, I would be tearing heads off.
Oh my god.
So,
ouch.
yeah. And I got one more story here. Have you guys heard of VENN? VENN?
Nope.
It's the Video Game Entertainment News Network. They moved up their launch date to try to, I don't want to say take advantage of everybody being at home, but that's essentially what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's an MTV style gaming channel that has announced that they are going to launch early, hoping to capture a bigger audience during the COVID, like I just said. The channel will now debut in July, which is 3 months ahead of their normal schedule. Their goal is to create a 24/7 linear network for the streaming generation. So, pretty sure that's what Twitch does, but
I was just
yeah.
thinking like ESPN of video
right.
games. Like,
Or G4 TV maybe, because dude, I used to love that channel.
that's true. They had a lot of good stuff back in
Attack
the
of the Show.
Yes.
There were a few different game shows. Or
Attack of the Show is definitely the best one though.
Right, yeah. Well, that's where we first met Olivia Munn, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
And now she's Psylocke in the X-Men movies.
Exactly. But that's going to be moved up to July, and I'm curious to see what it's all about because I need something to watch.
Is that so? That's strictly streaming online somewhere. It's not
yes,
going to get like a G4, like Spike TV. I think is where G4 was at one point.
Right now, it's going to be to start with Twitch and YouTube, and they are talking with like Roku and all those people right now in developing an app.
Okay, cool.
So it'll be essentially like Twitch, but it'll be a television network or a streaming type.
I mean, I think if you're gonna try to set yourself apart as being a 24-hour news network for video games, that kind of makes the most sense because you don't want to just be another Twitch stream. You want to, if it's gonna be a legit like news thing,
right?
Then,
and I hope it doesn't turn into just esports 24/7 because I don't like watching other people play video games competitively.
Well, you might be in the minority there.
But yeah, I know. But I prefer more like documentaries or
I'd love to see some stuff like that.
Chat type shows, stuff like that.
Because you can go to that's why I said it has to be. I think it definitely has to be different. It can't just be Twitch 2.0.
Right. Well, yeah, because you've also got Rooster Teeth and Kind of Funny Games Daily and all these other 24-hour channels that are creating content and producing things on the daily. So.
Right.
I just want to see how they differentiate themselves from everything that's out there right now.
Yeah, for sure.
So, Chuck, you got anything to say about Venn, buddy?
When it comes out, we'll see.
All right. Well, that's all I...
But no, I'm with you. I think I would much prefer seeing that type of content than rehashed content we've seen.
Yeah, exactly. I can't only watch the 1997 Stanley Cup Finals only 3 or 4 times before it gets old, right?
I guess. Never tried.
I watched Tiger win the Masters again yesterday.
Oh man,
so.
You're really struggling out here without sports, huh?
Well, there's nothing on TV, so I just let it run in the background.
There you go.
So, but that's all I got for news this week, boys.
All right, Chocolate. We have any games coming out this week? Is there any? We got spoiled last week with Final Fantasy, so I'm assuming this week's gonna be a bummer.
Yeah, this week we have got hardly anything. So there was 2 that looked notable. So there is Brutal Rage, which is coming out on the Xbox on the 21st of April. There is also... Why did I pick this game? Ita? Who knows?
What is it, Bear?
ITTA.
Yeah.
What is it?
I've got no idea.
It a game. That's what it is.
It a game. Okay. So why do I do this to myself?
I don't know. How about well, maybe we'll have better luck with Game Pass.
Hopefully. Anyway, that's coming out on the 21st, and that's for the Switch. So there's not a great deal of games coming out new-wise. But Game Pass, we are going to have a plethora of games here. We have got oh my god,
Alvastia.
Alvastia. I was going to go with that. Chronicles, and that's in now. You also have Journey to the Savaged Planet, and that's out now. There are some PC exclusives dropping. There is Alien Isolation, Mistover, Stranger Things 3, and the mecca of every Football Manager game, Football Manager 20.
You know that you're banned from the show if you mention this game again, right?
It was there. It's part of the games out this year.
Those are rules, Bear.
Yeah.
Nice knowing you, buddy.
Always got to bend the rules. So Football Manager, which is a massive I think for people who enjoy football, this is the best thing since forever to come out.
Or you could play FIFA and actually play the game.
Well, yeah. spend some money on your loot boxes.
Yes.
But yes, that is it. There's not a great deal out.
Cool. I played Stranger Things 2. The first two were like mobile games, but they were definitely decent for what they were. So it's just kind of like a isometric 16-bit game with all the kids from Stranger Things. Definitely interesting. I didn't want to pay for it because the first two I think maybe were like $4.99 and you played them on mobile, and then Stranger Things 3 came out and it was like a $20 game or something. I was like, no thanks. So
yeah, it looks quite good.
I definitely think it's a decent little game, especially if you're a fan of the show. Like it has all the characters and stuff. So
is it as spooky as the show?
No, it can't be. I don't think.
Yeah, not at 16-bit, right?
Yeah, jump scares don't translate very well there. All right. I think that's going to do it for the show. Let's plug this thing up. We've been talking about this the last couple episodes, but streamerlinks.com/CAG podcast is going to be one big mega link for you to get everywhere. You can get to Apple Podcasts to rate us, Discord to come chat with us, Patreon to support us, and then if you want to follow us on social, Twitter and Instagram are also there. I think that's about it. Minute and 30 seconds. Yeah, it was a quick one, guys. It was a quick minute and 30-second episode. Thanks, everybody.
That's what she said.
Oh.
If you want to find me, I'm at Risky the Kid everywhere. Chocolate, how about you?
Chocolate Bear 80 everywhere.
And Moose.
Moosenstein 8314, all places.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into this week's episode of Cross Atlantic Gaming. We'll catch you guys next week for an all-new episode. Goodbye.
See ya.
Later.
So why is a baseball game a good place to go on a hot day?
Why?
Because there's lots of fans.
You could use that for any sport.
Yep.
Silly.
Mm-hmm.
You can, but that's what it said.
Could have
so
made it relatable to all you UK folks and said football.
The suckers.
The sacker.
Does
it pain you to say that word? Is it just kind of like...
It's just so stupid. It's football. Okay? There's a ball and your foot. That's it.
Egg ball.
Egg ball. You and your egg ball.
Moose, what jokes we doing? Easter's over. What now?
I'm just looking for some spring jokes here.
Spring has sprung. Or has it?
Why is spring a great season to start a gardening business?
I don't know.
Because it's when you can really rake in the money.
Oh.
Yeah, fair.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I had a neck brace fitted years ago, and I've never looked back since.
Got him.
Oh, God. Where do sharks go on their summer vacation?
Where?
Finland.
Nice. When do monkeys fall from the sky?
I don't know.
During ape-earl showers.
Oh.
I could tell a joke about pizza, but it's a little cheesy.
All right. What falls but never gets hurt?
Leaves.
The rain.
What?
The rain falls and never gets hurt.
Yeah.
Shut it off quick.